In this video, I will show you how to draw a watercolor landscape with beautiful colors and brushes. You can get the free tutorial files via the download link in the video description below. Now, if you are ready, let's grab our pencils and get started. I've created a canvas with dimensions of 2000 by 2500 pixels, 300 dpi. In today's tutorial, I'll be using brushes from a few of my older free and exclusive sets, such as Watercolor and Botanics. Also, I made a watercolor horse drawing and turned it into a stamp. That's included in the bundle too. If you like these YouTube tutorials and want to learn more, you may want to check out my Patreon page, where I share more in-depth tutorials, exclusive brush sets, and also teach how to make new brushes. You can check it out via the link in the description. Now let's proceed. In the color palette, I will grab the first color. And from the tutorial bundle, I will select hard watercolor brush. Let's visually divide the canvas into two equal parts. So I will pick Selection tool and use it in freehand mode. I will start drawing a few layers of mountains. Here comes the first one. Let's tap here and make sure we don't have color fill. I will just outline a similar shape on the left side. That will be smaller. Now we can use the brush. Its size is big enough, around 70%, and I will just apply it in the selection. Now let's change the color into number 6. I will also use selection here and outline another hill. Starting from here, it may go up a little and then to the right. It may intersect with these two, and here it will go horizontally. Let's also tap on this dot and paint it. I'm changing the color again into number 5. And using selection, I will outline a bigger shape. It may start from the edge and go higher than the previous one. I think it will have 2 peaks. Let's now outline it at the bottom. They may also intersect. And we need to close the selection to use the brush. Simply paint inside it. Now let's grab the next color on the left and draw another mountain behind. That will be even higher, and it will also have 2 peaks. First one, and then one more. Let's now draw at the bottom. Tap here and apply the color. After that, I will draw one last layer with this pinkish color number 3. This time it will go like this. Let's also draw here. Finish the selection and paint inside it. I'm not lifting the pencil up here. Now we can deselect it and try to remove the white gaps. We can do it easily by using Liquify tool that is set to edge. There is no distortion or momentum, but I've set pressure to max. We only need to adjust the size. Let it be small enough. At my end it is set to 21%. So I will just work on these edges. This way we could do everything on one layer. And we can fix it. So we didn't have to create many layers. I will just fix this edge. We can also try to switch to push mode. And I will adjust the shape of the mountain on top. Just push it a little bit down, like this. Alright. I think it looks too pale, so I will go and duplicate the layer. Now that's better. We can merge them. After that I will create another layer below this one. And apply color number 2 for the background. We can simply select it and drag it on the canvas. Before we start painting at the lower part of the canvas, let's add some trees on the mountains. For that I will go back to the first color and create a new layer here on top. Now let's go to the brush set and select Pine Tree Branch brush. It works great to draw pine trees, especially in this painterly style. But instead of drawing branches, we will make them very simple. I've set the size to 4% and I will just make vertical strokes with low pressure first, and I will increase it while going down, like this. You can try to make a few strokes if needed. And this is how they will look. We can make a few thinner ones, and another big one. Make them different shapes. Maybe I will draw a couple of tiny ones. And then another tall one. Like this. Let's also draw a few of them on the left side. Exactly the same way. We can make them wider. And then a couple of smaller ones. Just like this. I think now we can work on the sky. And for that we need to create a layer right above the background. Let's start with pink color. And select soft watercolor brush. Its size is also big, around 65%. And I will make a horizontal stroke. It has a very cool soft texture. And it is blended with the background very well. But if you like, you can use smudge tool. Let me actually do it. Just a couple of horizontal strokes as well. Like this. And after that I'd like to draw clouds. To paint the clouds, I will select color number 12. And also change the brush to soft watercolor 1. I will just make the size bigger as well, at around 34%, and start making strokes on top of the canvas. We can skip some distance, maybe even lower the brush size, and add more clouds like this. Let me paint more here, just to make the color brighter. And that's it. In the next step we will paint a lake, another hill, some more trees and grass on the foreground, so we better create a new layer. Let's place it under the mountains. Now I will grab color number 6 again and hard watercolor brush. Let's use selection to outline the hill. I will match it on the top edge, this way. Then it will go down as a curve. Go to the right side. And from here it will go to the left almost horizontally. Like this. Let's connect it. And apply the brush. Now we can deselect it. Go to change the color into the fifth one. And draw horizontally here. So I will start from top. Go to the right side. Then a bit down. And to the left again. Let's try to match it here. And tap to connect. Now we can simply paint here as well. Deselect it and adjust the edges using Liquify. I've set it to edge mode. I will just make the size smaller. And go along the edge this way. To fix the intersections. Now it is ready. We can duplicate the layer to make it brighter. And after that merge it. For the lake I'm going to create a new selection. And let's do it on a new layer. I think we can place it under layer 5. Use freehand selection. And first outline it on the upper edge. Like this. Then match it here. Go to the right side. And back to the left. From this point it will go down and to the right again, with more curves. I will make a smaller one. And go outside the canvas. Then connect it here. Let's now change the color to number 8. And also select soft watercolor brush to draw water. I will make it full size and apply the color this way. We can do it in one stroke or make more. I think we can also add some light violet color. That is number 4. I will make a stroke on the top edge. This way. We can blend these colors. And after that I'd like to add some pinkish shade. Number 3. But I will do it with a smaller brush size. Paint more on top. This way the water will reflect all the colors from the mountains and also from the sky. Let's deselect it now. We can try to duplicate the layer right away. Lower the opacity if needed. And then merge these two layers. We can now also adjust the edges with Liquify. I will simply remove white gaps, if there are any. Move this edge upper. We can switch to push mode. And now it is done. We only need to paint grass at the lower part. Let's create a new layer for that. Somewhere above the water. To make it faster, we can also create the selection first. I'm matching it here with the water. then outlining it outside the canvas, and going to select foliage painterly brush. Let's also change the color to number 8. Set the size to around 6% and paint inside, just like this. Since we have the selection here, we don't have to be very accurate with the edges. Just paint it like this. Now let's deselect it. Then I will make the size smaller and work on this edge. I just want to remove the straight line. So the brush size is set to around 2%. Let's finish it here on the right edge. Also go up a little. And it is ready. Let's add some more trees on the left side. And I'd like to start with color number 9. Selecting pine tree branch. We also need to create a new layer. We can place it above the mountains. And draw trees this way, starting right from the edge and going down. I will place them very close to each other and make them of different size. Some can be smaller and others can be taller. Draw them until the edge. So it will be like a small forest. I think now we can add some dark color. So I will change it to number 1 and make more strokes inside. To create some volume. Okay, it is ready now. And before we finish the drawing, I think we can add some extra grass on the background. So let me select color number 8 again, and I will continue working on the same layer. I will just go back to foliage painterly brush. It is at a low size still, and I will make horizontal strokes from here to paint grass by the water. Maybe we can add some darker color, which is number 7. Just paint at the bottom. Also draw here. At the lower part of the hill. Let's try to make circular strokes. Go to the right edge. I will change the color to this red one. Then increase the size. And paint more trees. Starting from here. Just adding random shapes. We can draw a couple of bushes at the bottom edge. And to add some volume to them, we can also add some dark color. It will be number 11. I'm simply painting at the bottom. Here too. I think it will be also nice to add some pine trees. Tiny ones. So I will select the first color again Go back to pine tree branch, but make it very low size, like 2 or 1%. Just drawing like this. A few trees. Alright, I think now we can start working on the foreground. So I will create a new layer that will be located right above the grass. And I will continue using this dark color. To draw the road, I will use selection here and start from the right edge. Go up with a curve. It will go to the trees. Then I will continue it on the left side. Draw this way. And finish it on this edge. Let's also connect it. Grab hard watercolor and paint. Since the texture is half transparent, we will still see the foliage. So maybe we can apply one more layer of color to make it darker, like this. Let's deselect it. And I will fix the shape using Liquify in push mode. Alright. I will deselect it for now and work on the edges. We can try to use Smudge tool that is set to foliage painterly. The size is set to 3%. And I will start smudging the edge of the road. Just a little bit, here and there. So it's like grass going a little inside. Let's also work on the right edge. I will work in the opposite direction to push it to the left side. Finishing. And I think it is fine. To get watercolor texture, let's do this. I'd like to deduct the road from the grass. And we can do it easily if we go to the layer, get it selected. After that, go to the layer with the grass and click Clear. This is what we will get. And this part is almost ready. I think we can make these trees a little bit bigger. So I will go to this layer, outline them, and then scale. Like this. I will also move them a bit to the left. Okay, now I think it is better. Let's continue working on the foreground. I'd like to add some shading on the grass. So we can create a new layer above it and clip it to the base to keep the strokes inside. I will change the color to number 7. Select Foliage Painterly brush and set its size to 7%. I will just darken some of the parts. For example, here under the pine trees. I will make strokes by tapping. Also work on this edge, near the water. and around the road. On the left side, maybe we can make the size a bit smaller here. Draw more. Then here. And around this edge. We can also add some more colors. For example, color number 4 or 5. Just some lighter shades. So it'll look more like flowers. For example, here. Maybe somewhere here too. And it will be enough. To make the landscape finished, we can add an animal here. This time I decided it would be a horse, so we can create a new layer for it. I will do it above all layers. Grab this dark color, which is number 1, and select the stamp. Its size is set to 13% or maybe less. And I will just tap somewhere here. Then we can move it. The horse already has some shading, but we can totally add more. So I will create a new layer above it. Let's clip it. And I will set it to overlay. After that I'm going to use white and black colors, and starting with white. To add some more painterly look to it, I will apply foliage painterly brush to highlight some of the areas. I think we need to make the size a bit smaller. I will highlight it here on the neck, then here on the front, on the head, and add some more parts. If we tap, we will get some color variations due to the brush settings. After that we can also add some dark spots using black. So I will just make a few strokes. Let's have a look at it from distance. I will switch back to white and finish shading. Alright, I think now it fits in the drawing. I will just move it a bit down, like this. And to put it in the grass, I will first add a layer mask. Then select black color and foliage painterly. Just making a few strokes on the horse's leg. This way we are not damaging the image. And if we remove the mask, it'll still be safe. Okay, just a couple of more details. I'm merging the layers for the horse, creating a new layer, and selecting white color. I will apply freckles brush. Hit the size set to 36%. Just make a stroke all over the canvas, like this. We can scale or move it, and lower the opacity if needed. I will also erase a few of the freckles, in order not to have too many of them. In the end, I'd like to apply an overlay. So I will insert it, stretch it to the sides in freeform transformation to cover the entire canvas. And after that, I will set it to overlay mode. I think it looks too light, and we can fix it by adjusting hue saturation and brightness. I will just make it a bit darker, so we can still keep the texture, but the drawing is not too light. I've set it to 40%. And now I'd like to turn it into a postcard. We can either merge all the layers or do this. Go to Actions, Add, Copy Canvas, and then paste it. Now I will tap and hold here to keep only that layer. After that, I will scale it uniformly. And put it in the center. If it got a bit blurry, we can apply sharpen. Then I will duplicate this layer, go to this one, and make it pure black. We can do it by lowering the brightness to none. Now let's apply Gaussian blur on it at around 8%. Then I will drag it to the right side diagonally and lower the opacity of the layer. Let's set it to around 75%. And at this point, our drawing is complete. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Check me if you post a version on Instagram. For more tutorials and brush sets, please check out my Patreon page. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.